First Man is the follow-up film to Damien Chazelle's almost Best Picture winner La La Land. It's a departure from his musical-related movies, and it focuses on Neil Armstrong and the Apollo 11 moon landing. As I always say, it's very hard for a historical movie to build suspense, especially one as well known as the moon landing. The filmmakers do try their best to showcase every blunder and setback of NASA's journey towards Apollo 11, but there's never any question of what the outcome's going to be. The film shows Neil's progress from the Gemini program through Apollo 11. It cuts between the NASA programs and Neil's sorrow-filled family life.
I love everything about space, and I love everything about history, so you would think I would love this film, and I did love parts of it. The history parts. Everything with Neil Armstrong, and Ed White, and Buzz Aldrin, and NASA. Loved it. It was the personal stuff between Neil and his wife Janet that just didn't work for me. I don't know, Claire Foy, she does an amazing job as playing the overly stressed wife, but her character just seems like a stereotype in a movie filled with such famous historical characters.
From the beginning all the way to the ending, everything was just way too sad. There were definitely no giggle bits in this movie, but there weren't any ups to the story either. Everything was just tragedy in Neil's life. It's like the only good thing that ever happened to Neil Armstrong was landing on the moon.
Some historical films build suspense by getting the audience emotionally attached to the characters so they kind of forget they already know the outcome. That didn't happen in this case.
Ryan Gosling stars as Neil Armstrong and does a great job of portraying this historical figure. He's often not given enough dialogue, and the camera just spends a lot of time staring at his emotionless face.
This movie can be described as shaky close-ups of Ryan Gosling. Now, it actually made me a little bit nauseous, and I typically like that, shaky action sequence stuff.
The filmmakers did rely a little too much on handheld and shaky camera movements, not just in the flight sequences, but also in the dramatic home life sequences as well.
If the camera's shaking that much, there gotta be some explosions or giant robots fighting each other to justify it, right? No, not in this one. No action. None at all.
Everything that happens from the launch of the Apollo 11 and onward, you gotta see it on a big screen, with great audio. The special effects and mixed with the actual historical footage, it's amazing. Everything with the Apollo 11 mission is top-notch. You have Ryan Gosling's portrayal of Armstrong, you have the actual NASA audio, and you also have the score. All of that collectively, it just makes the lunar landing a must-see. It's actually a great space movie done right.
First Man continues Damien Chazelle's streak of creating masterful technical achievements. Like La La Land though, there is some flaws that will keep it from being a total masterpiece. 8 out of 10.
I loved all of the NASA scenes, but 2 points off for the dramatic home life scenes. 8 out of 10.
There's a lot of build-up, but the movie never really gets over the hurdle of, we already know what's going to happen, to really keep me on the edge of my seat. It didn't really help either that I wasn't emotionally attached to any of the characters. 6 out of 10.
Everything in this movie is just way too sad for such an iconic, uplifting moment in human history. 2 out of 10. This movie was boring and made me nauseous with that shaky camera. 1 out of 10.
We here at Who's Review give First Man the overall rating of 1 small story. This film is ambitious on a technical level, but never really grabs your emotional attention. Neil Armstrong is one of the most famous men in history that most people know very little about, aside from his famous words on the moon, and this film tries to flesh out his life story. However, every scene with Neil that doesn't involve NASA, it just doesn't live up to that hype of the space adventure. In this film, Neil's giant leap for mankind completely overshadows his small life story. Well, there you have it, that's a review. What do you think? Are we way off? Right on? Let us know in the comment section below and we'll check it out and respond. As always, if you want to stay up to date on all things Who's Review, make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We thank you guys for checking us out here at Who's Review, where everyone's a critic. Giant leap for mankind completely overshadows a small life story. I almost had it, but the end is what it is.